welcome back to another Topic Tuesday with your favorite strength and conditioning coach, Coach Erica, Coach Leona. Welcome. Today's Topic Tuesday, we're going to be going over the 15 things that nobody tells you when you start first working out, and then you actually need to know. So real quick before we get into this week's topic, if you haven't seen, it is going to be my birthday. Yes, I am a June Gemini. I know, crazy. It makes sense, right? It tracks. Anyways, for my birthday, I'm turning 29 years old, so I'm doing 29% off everything, ebooks, custom online training, and also for the very first time, I'm doing a sale on my VIP training. So VIP training is my online training just on, steroids. So if you really need someone to help hold your hand, it's online, comment, talk to you every single day, and we're gonna get you through that. Take a look. Ebooks, I do have my free ebooks still there, but everything else is 29% off. That is until June 10th. Things that people literally will never ever tell you about training. And it's not gonna be a normal step of you're gonna get bigger. Well, no, you're gonna get bigger, obviously. But these are things that I wish someone actually had told me, and it's some real things where it's okay, that actually makes sense. I will keep that in mind. So the very first one, and I think most people can understand this, because we get into fitness, is to transform our bodies, whether we be, very overweight, kind of overweight, sometimes we're going the opposite spectrum, we're going, very thin to muscular, or just even to a healthy weight, as the girls like to call it. But the fact is, when you start working out, you're gonna have to get rid of all your clothes. Nothing's going to fit. Your gym clothes aren't going to fit. Your normal clothes aren't going to fit. Your going out clothes, work clothes, dresses, nothing is going to fit. And it's in the best way possible. For me, I stopped buying clothes that I actually really like just because I know they're not gonna fit in a couple months. Pants, don't fit. Shirts, don't fit. So when I do spend the money to actually buy myself a good quality statement piece or a nice fashionable item, I do think about in the next 6 months, what are my body goals looking like? Am I going down in weight? Am I going up? Am I getting thicker? Where is it going? Because I'm at the point where I would say I'm probably in the best shape of my life right now. Nothing fits. Nothing fits. My workout clothes that I bought, I would say 2 years ago around COVID, don't fit anymore. I mean, they're quality stuff, they just don't fit. Waistband don't fit. Shirts are not really fitting, or not necessarily the style. Best shape of my life, my body's completely changed, and nothing fits. And that's just, I have to buy everything brand new. So I'm doing that probably towards the end of the year, because I feel like I'll be probably more around my maintenance kind of goal. So that's something you have to realize, your clothes will not fit, and it's going to be expensive because you need to replace these clothes. And you're gonna have to replace these clothes depending on your goals quite frequently. So, number 2, a big thing that I think a lot of people, especially because social media is very influential to people starting the gym, you don't need anything to start working out. You don't. You literally don't need anything. If you don't have shoes, you don't have equipment, you don't have a gym, you don't have workout clothes, nothing. You can be at your house, butt naked, you're doing air squats and push-ups, and eventually that's gonna get you some type of results. There's a ton of body weight exercises that you can do in your home. You don't need to have clothes on if that is what you're really worried about, to the point where I'm saying you literally don't need anything to start working out. Now, are these things nice? Can these things be a little bit more, comfortable? Can they make you feel better? Can they support you or supplement what you're doing? Yeah, some of them can, but you don't need anything to start. So don't get into the mindset of I don't have this, I don't have that, so I can't do it. This is not a construction project. You don't need permits to get going. You don't need certain tools. You don't need the shovels. You don't need the workers. All you need to do is get started and keep going. Find a plan, stick with it, and then just go. You don't have the best shoes, that's fine. You don't have the best outfits, that's fine. Where you're going to be in the next 6 months is more important than how you look right now and what you have available. If you don't have options for a gym, you can't afford it, there's not one near you, you're not comfortable to go, that is fine. You can do stuff at home. During the pandemic, when we were in lockdown, I didn't have weights. I lived in an apartment on the 2nd story. I didn't have weights, couldn't find any weights. I literally got the water jugs that I was drinking out of. I I went across the street where there was dirt and I filled them up with dirt, and I had weights. If you want to do it, we'll find a way. Another big thing. I know it's gonna be, I wish someone told me was that body composition is more important than just chasing pounds. A body composition with higher muscle mass and lower body fat percentage is what you should focus on versus just saying, I need to be 160 pounds. I need to lose 50 pounds. That's a great kind of concept to have in mind of like, I think my goal weight will probably be around 140 pounds. Give or take. But genetically, every single person is different. Your height, how you store fat, how you put on muscle, where you put muscle, and how you distribute fat. Honestly, just chasing pounds, you might not have that body image that you actually want. So if you're just so dead set on, I need to lose 50 pounds, I need to lose 50 pounds, those 50 pounds might not be the 50 pounds you want to lose. And realistically, you might actually, to you, look better at, maybe 30 pounds lighter. But your body composition is different. You have more muscle mass and lower body fat. So I wish someone had told me that to begin with versus just like trying to hit with a number. But of course, like early 2000s, it was all skinny minis. You had to be 100 pounds, and that was the Victoria's Secret fashion model era. So we are now getting away from that. We want to be strong, we want to be healthy, and we want to be at the body weight that is good for our body and not society's, okay? So pay attention to that. This might surprise people because it's like, is this really gym related? It is. But the people you are attracted to right now, and when you start actually working out and being, like having a healthier lifestyle, going to the gym and doing all that stuff is going to change. What you find attractive and what works for you and your type will change. And that's just a matter of fact, because it's like, it doesn't really matter. I'm not saying they have to go be a gym nut. You could only date people that are in the gym. But what you find attractive is going to change, because you're going to see the value you put in yourself, the value and time and care you put into your own body. And you're going to want to be with someone that reflects that. I'm not saying that you need to date someone that goes to the gym. It's not that. But you're gonna want to date someone that has the same type of care into themselves. They invest in themselves emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There's a lot of different ways that you can take care of yourself that isn't just physical. So whatever you're attracted to now, if it's not someone that's going to be very self-aware and caring of themselves and also transports to others, that's going to change. I'm so sorry. Now, this is a hard one because especially if you come from an ethnic background, our cultures are all very different than typical Americans. Our household structures are very different. And with fitness, you're going to lose friends and family. It sucks. No one really prepares you for it because it'd be like, oh yeah, no, that nothing changes. Things change. And it's not necessarily in a complete negative way, but you are going to lose some people who are going to go no contact with these people, but you're not going to have as strong a relationship with them. And that's for a couple of reasons. Priorities are going to change. You're not going to want to go out drinking as much. You're not going to want to go out and do certain things that are going to backtrack you from your goals. Especially with ethnic cultures and backgrounds, family structure is very different. Eating and having family gatherings and eating together is usually a very big, part of your culture, celebrations, things like that. Also the types of foods. For example, like I'm Colombian, being Latina, our foods are very carb heavy, a lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of meats, a lot of fried meats. And eating together is, typically a very big thing with parties, dinner time as well. And when I lived at home, it was more difficult for me to actually focus on, like, let's say a type of diet, because the entire time my family's like, well, why aren't you eating? You need to eat more. No, you look too skinny. Oh, you need to eat that. Oh, you're gonna look like a man. Oh, and there's a lot of different culture things that come back into it. A lot of misconceptions of what lifting weights is, and eating healthy, you're not starving yourself. It's just different types of foods and how you want to prepare your food. So like in things family-wise, so they're not gonna understand And that can create some rift. It comes down to friends, you might not be having the same constant interactions and pressures of like your parents saying things, but with your friends going out, they go out drinking, if they go eat fast food, if they're going out and binging, if they're just drinking, going here, going that, and they might not understand why you don't want to eat that, or oh, why don't you want to do this? Oh, I have to go to the gym. Oh, you don't need to go to the gym. You're always at the gym. You can miss one day. And little things like that, they kind of just build up. And not every single friend is like that. Some friends are very, understanding. Hey, do your thing, whatever. Or they want to come with you. But some friends, they might not understand what you're trying to accomplish and what you have to sacrifice at times. It doesn't always have to be drinking and food. It can just be like, I don't want to go out tonight because I'm tired and I have to get up early. Or, I've had a long week. Work-wise, I'm spent. Exercise-wise, I'm spent. I'm tired. I want to sleep. I want to recover. I need me time. A little tricky, but your demons will come out. And I've talked about this before in my other video where I was talking about how the gym helps me with my PTSD and all my other stuff and my anxiety and depression, all that stuff. It helped me, but at the same time, I did mention how that the gym is not a substitution for actual therapy and actual internal work. So a lot of times you see nowadays, especially with TikTok and all the social medias, it's like, oh, I'm fighting demons, and they're just lifting crazy weights, doing tons amount of caffeine and all that crazy stuff, which is great. I'm glad you're working on it, but to the same degree that a lot of these things do come out. So when you spend that much time with just yourself, and I mean, you're working out, you have your music on, you're just spending, even if you're just all of a sudden you're spending an hour a day extra with just yourself in the gym, and you just have your thoughts, things are gonna come out. And you might not think you had these issues. It might be anger issues, it might be some trauma building up, because now you have time to think about it and time to deal with it. And lifting, get you endorphins, can get you, make you feel good, and all these different things can bring up emotions that you didn't think you might have to deal with, or that you didn't know you had going on. Don't use the gym as the only form of you working through things. Get some help, read, you can do podcasts, there's definitely free alternatives, you can get a workbook, but do be aware that being healthier is not just physical, it's spiritually, mentally, and you need all three to really get together and take you to the next step. Otherwise, you're gonna have those plateaus. So this one isn't, I couldn't say super crazy serious, but there is something you're gonna experience, is that you now fit into a new stereotype. And if you've never been stereotyped before, well, buckle up, because you are in for some life experience. Different stereotypes under the umbrella. Whether you can be a cardio bunny, a gym rat, a fitness freak. And, these are the more endearing terms, but there are some terms that come with it. There's also a lot of ideology that comes with it as well. If you are doing fitness, depending how serious you are, people start finding out about it. If you're not in a fitness industry themed career, people are going to find it very strange. Office, when Mr. Fitness guy goes and grabs a slice of pizza. Oh, I didn't know you could eat that. Or you go to a family event and you're having some cake, you're enjoying yourself. Oh, can you really eat that? Are you sure? Or oh, I didn't know you could actually still have fun. Or oh, I only thought you liked this. And there's different things that come with it. But it is fun to have a brand new umbrella term and to see, where people want to put you in. And there are some, thoughts that people have about people who work out. Oh, they're crazy. Oh, they can only, eat chicken and broccoli. Oh, they only do this. Oh, they're not going to do this. And there's different things, and you'll learn as you go. But just keep in mind that it's not for everyone. Not everyone has the same ideologies. Not everyone has the same wants and desires. What you're doing is what you want, and what the other person is doing is what they want, or they're just not doing what they actually want to do. But either way, don't take on whatever they're saying with a heavy heart. Just take it with a flight grass and just throw it that way, because I kind of touched on this already a little bit, but something that you're going to realize about yourself is that you have a new appreciation and a new self-value worth, because you're going to see how much time you are spending on exercising, on, you know, your diet, on just being healthier, putting into your like spiritual, your, you know, emotional intelligence, all these different things to help you make a better person. It takes time. Time is money. I don't care what anyone says. Time is a cost. We don't all have the same time, and it does take time, and it takes, you know, a value to you. So if you're spending, you know, let's say you get up an extra hour early, you go work out, you cook your meals, you go spend time learning this, you do all these things. Let's say everything over the week costs you up to like 15 hours. That's a part-time job. A part-time job you're spending into yourself. Have that value to yourself. And I'm not saying that everyone before fitness was nothing, has no self-esteem, nada. That's not the case. But even if you did have a high self-esteem and you did have a sense of high value of worth for yourself internally, it's gonna go up because you are a prized possession. You're a fine-tuned sculpture that's taking hours and hours and hours to create and perfect. You're gonna value your time, because if something is not working for you, and it doesn't always have to be relationships, but if something isn't valuable to you, you're gonna realize like, I have more value than this, and this is not worth my time. So I'm not going to do it, or I'm going to find something that has value and put myself into that situation. So this is going to piss a lot of people off. But unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but you never get your dream body. You never do. And I'm going to explain to you why. So your dream body right now, think about it. You're just starting off, this is your dream body. Oh my God, I would kill to have this. I want anything to do it. That's great. So let's go ahead, take that image, and then fast forward 2 years where you're really, really close to that body. But now, because you see what it is and you see what you're capable of now, you want this ideal body. And you're like, you know what? I'm gonna work a little bit harder. I'm gonna train harder. I'm gonna eat harder. You know, I'm gonna change my diet. I'm gonna focus on things. And I'm gonna go towards that. And then fast forward maybe even a year or 6 months, and now that body is not your dream body anymore. Because you progress and you get better as time goes on, what your dream goal is will always be unattainable. It's always gonna be unattainable. And that's okay. Because if your goal is to look like Ronnie Coleman and you get 50% of the way there, that's still pretty good. So you have to come to terms with that. You're constantly going to be chasing this idol of a body that you're never going to get. Now, if you do get your dream body, then congratulations, proceed. You don't apply to this, continue going, you don't need my help. But the rest of us, and this includes me as well, our dream body is going to constantly change. This one especially is going to piss all of you off. And don't worry, because it pissed me off too. You're not training hard enough. You're not training hard enough. Whatever you think you're doing, you're not doing hard enough. It sucks. And it also goes for me too, because I realized, I had someone tell me like, you're not training hard enough. Like you're wasting your genetic potential. You're not training hard enough. You're just skating by. And I was like, got upset. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I'm not training hard enough. And that's okay, because I'm not training hard enough. And you know what? Most people aren't either. And that's what it is, because whatever you think you're doing, you're not going hard enough. To get what you need to get, it's hard. It is really freaking hard. And you're just not training hard enough. And before you just decide to go balls to the wall and do whatever and then blame me because you hurt yourself, that's not what I meant. And you need to backtrack the little brain, pump the brakes, think about what I'm saying right now. Training hard enough. Are you pushing yourself with each rep? Are you pushing yourself with each workout? Are you, maximizing in the optimal numbers? Are you doing the correct workouts? Are you eating exactly what you need to do? Are you getting exact enough sleep? And most of the chances is no. We're not doing that. We are human. And unless you're getting paid to do this, you're an Olympian. You're literally an Olympian. You are a professional athlete where this is the only thing you need to do, live, breathe, and eat is this, then most of the time you're not doing it as hard as you could. And that's what it is. But if this pissed you off enough, go train harder. Go push a little bit harder. Go out to failure. Go do the reps. Get your harder weight. Pay more attention to what you're doing. Have more conviction on what you're doing, and those results will yield, and they will show you the difference when you train harder. So I feel like this is an obvious one, but it doesn't register with some people until it's too late. But you can't drink as much or as much. You can't do it. Your body isn't going to metabolize the things as you did before you did this. You're gonna have a lower tolerance. You're gonna not enjoy it as much. It's gonna completely change your experience. And also too, you might realize that like, this does not make me feel good anymore. I used to be able to have 6 drinks. Now I can only barely have 2 without being on my butt. As Saudi, you need to pick a struggle. You can't have everything, okay? So something else that I wish someone did tell me is that genetics, they do matter. Genetics do make a very big importance in your training, your image, what your potential is, what you're capable of. Everything has to do with genetics. If you are gifted with top tier genetics, it's gonna show with half-ass work. With top tier genetics, you're gonna have to work 3 times as hard as the other guy. And it sucks. And you also have to be realistic with what you're actually capable of. I can never be a stallion. I am 5'2". I am small. I'm gonna have different features. I'm also petite. I'm gonna have different features. I can't have certain size frames on my body. I can get close to it, but it's never gonna happen. Sister, for example, we have different rib cage structures. My waist, genetically, is very different from hers. She'll never be able to get my waist tapered line, and I will never be able to have her hip structure. That's just what it is. How our bones are, how our genetic makeup is, how we put on muscle, where we carry fat, do we carry more fat cells? That is going to be all a very big factor into your progress. So, and stop being naive and thinking, oh, I can do anything. You can to a degree, but you need to be realistic. So something else that I wish people had been more open about, or in generally are just more open with, and like, I guess my mentors or people who've been in the gym longer, and just kind of everyone in general statement, understanding and telling you this, that way you don't get your hopes up and not realizing that like genetic factor is a big thing and all of a sudden you're not working hard enough. More people are on PEDs than you think. More people have gotten surgical work than you think. And especially with women, people think that PEDs means just She-Hulks, crazy big and huge. No. A lot of women take PEDs to stay lean all year round. Testosterone, voice changing, all that stuff. You can be on PEDs and look very, very feminine. That's something that I did not know when I first started, and it took a while to learn. You realize like, oh, you know what? That's the difference between me and them. I'm not saying that PEDs are just a magic fix-all pill, because a lot of people think like, oh, well, they're on PEDs and that's why I can't ever look like that. No. PEDs enhance what you got going on. They enhance what you're doing. If you're not eating right, if you're working out like a slob, and you're not doing what you're supposed to, PEDs are not gonna fix it. You just can't all of a sudden take something and just be like Superman. It doesn't work that way. And it works the same way also too when you do take it. Just because you're taking it doesn't mean all of a sudden they're going to work phenomenally. You still have to put in the work. And in fact, you actually have to put in extra work because you are taking that PEDs for a cycle. You need to pay more attention to what you're doing to your body, enhance what you're doing. So if you're on PEDs and you're just taking it to maintain, and you're not growing anything because you're still eating, drinking, doing drugs and all that stuff, you're just putting your body in a bad position for failure. Versus when you do take PEDs, people go on to stricter cuts, more exercising, all that stuff. So people are on them, and just because someone doesn't look like they're on PEDs, what do they even look like? Realistically, what do PEDs even look like? Because there's all different types, and there's all different types of, ideologies, goals. Not everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Shocking. Some people take PEDs to look decent. in people's eyes because terrible genetics, they don't want to work hard enough. They just need to get there. All these influencers, a lot of these people, I'm not saying all of them, because some people are truly just natural, but most of these people are on PEDs or have gotten surgical work done. So especially with the women, BBLs, ab etching, liposuction. Yeah, your favorite little fitness coach might have gotten something done, and she's selling plans for all this stuff. So here's a very big sign that they got stuff done and they don't know what they're talking about. They're selling 8-week booty programs because we all know, and at least I hope you know, and if you don't, now you're going to know from Coach Erica, that you cannot build that amount of muscle and that amount of time to retain it. You will see progress, you will, but you're not gonna go from, you know, as the kids say, a wall to a shelf or a dump truck. It's not gonna happen. It takes time, and unfortunately it does, and I have done it. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. It doesn't take 6-8 weeks. It takes time, but it is worth it because once you get it, you can only go up from there. These are 15 things that I wish that someone had told me, but I do want you to know when you first get started in the gym, keep an eye on it. It's an array of things, and it's things you probably didn't think about. So just take a look at the list. If it helps you, give me a like, subscribe, comment, tell me what helps you the most. If it didn't, I'm so sorry, but tune in next week to see what else and maybe something does help. Guys, all the love, support, we're growing. I love you guys. Check out the website once again because I do have that sale for training. Able to catch a sale that ends the 10th. I am doing a summer challenge. It's gonna be really cool. It's not gonna be some gimmicky scam thing though. So I've been working really hard on it. I'm really excited for you guys to do it with me. And we're gonna get summer healthy, shredded, and all that stuff. So until next time though, like, comment, subscribe, and